So it's Wednesday at 11?
Wednesday at 11 o'clock over at Fire Station. Dave?
Missing.
Verify first. We have several reports, date reports. The first one Jeanette will cover is on EVerify.
Pass that around.
Is it a bag?
My favorite topic.
Oh.
Thank you.
Your purse? It's right there. No? It's up here.
Sorry. I don't see it. Okay. So what I've put here in front of you is just kind of a, where we've come from in terms of, and where we are today with the EVerify system. So on December 7th of last year, Council passed a resolution 984 requiring contractors of awarded contracts, 100,000 or more, to show that their workforce is lawful to work in the United States. This process took place on February 1st, and since its adoption, we've had one contract that's been awarded that exceeded the $100,000, and that's with our IT vendor, PDX Access. What I've also done is all contracts, professional services agreements have specific language in there that notifies the potential contractor that they would need to comply with this. And if they are awarded the contract, they need to provide us with a copy of the MOU that you get once you sign on to the EVerify system to show that they have signed on, as well as completing an affidavit of compliance. If the contractor hires a new employee after the contract has been awarded, the contractor will have to show proof that the new hire has been verified through the EVerify system, and can confirm that PDX Access has indeed followed through on the process. Just a couple of learnings, because this has been an incredible learning experience. EVerify system is actually easy to use. I signed the City of Washougal up with the system. But one of the things we've also learned is that in order for us to require contractors to use the system for their existing workforce, they have to be it has to be a federal contractor, and it has the FAR clause on those contracts, if indeed that is the case. So not the case for non-federal contracts.
So in other words, if we have an existing contract that's already in place, we can't require them to go back unless they're federal?
No, if we enter into a contract with a non-federal contractor, which I think is pretty much the case, we cannot require them to run their existing workforce through the system. Only those individuals that are hired after the contract has been adopted, which seems like an oxymoron. But I've talked to the Department of Homeland Security, I think 3 times in the last couple of weeks, talked to different agents to just verify this is the case, and that I've learned that's the case.
I can confirm that.
Okay.
I've read enough about
Okay.
it. That sounds right.
There's still verification that they're required to do by law.
The
They
I-9.
can't have the regular I-9 process, but they can't. It's almost, it's a day forward type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Existing employees are grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Unless it's a federal contractor, yeah.
so note to self, if I were a contractor who was gonna hire illegals, just hire them before you sign the contract.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Facetiously
noted.
speaking.
The word hollow seems to come to mind.
Yeah.
Questions for Jeanette on EVerify?
No.
You're now an expert on EVerify.
Yeah,
You can work for DHS.
Questions for Jeanette that she might be able to answer in regards to EVerify? Okay.
Okay, the next thing coming around is a thing I put together around this question of representation on the C-Tran board. That's what this is titled, the C-Tran board. It also applies to the RTC. There's been some conversation recently with council about the representation that the current C-Tran bylaws provide for the cities of Camas and Washougal, that we get one representative, and there's an informal agreement, as you know, between the two cities to rotate that. So really, there's two questions that have been discussed informally at council. The first is, should Washougal and Camas enter into a formal agreement regarding the rotation of our representation on the C-Tran board? And I should clarify that it's applicable to the RTC as well. And the second question, is the current situation where Washougal and Camas share representation appropriate? And I think there was some informal conversation by council members about potentially that not being appropriate, or that there should be something different that happens. So with respect to the first issue there, should we enter into some kind of an agreement, actually spoke with Lloyd at the city of Camas. It'd be pretty straightforward to put together an MOU that essentially documents that understanding that we've had for a number of years, and that would be really straightforward, and then we could present that for action by the respective councils. I think that's the easy piece. That's just sort of confirming that which we've done. The second issue, which is this representation appropriate for the city of Washougal? That's a different question. That's a governance question, a representation question. It's a question that really we can't answer unilaterally. I've excerpted and copied for your information. It's on the bottom half of this page and then also on the back. This is an excerpt out of section 3 of the C-Tran bylaws, and the applicable language is in bold. So you can see that we have an elected official representing both the cities of Camas and Washougal. We know that. And then at the bottom on the second side, you see where statute requires that the C-Tran governing body take a look at its composition every 4 years. The last time that occurred, they convened their committee that looks at that governing body composition committee. That happened last summer. It was in the summer of '09. So the current status of governance is in place as of just last year. And so the next time that a look will be taken will be in the 4th year, so that's 2013. Obviously, we would have one voice either through our Camas partner or through ourselves at that time, depending upon how the rotation is going. In that conversation, one voice out of many voices. So if it is the desire of this council to effect change in that, the time for that would be in 2013. Formally, obviously, there could be informal conversation about that, unless there was some kind of legislative change that would be enacted around to somehow precisely direct C-Tran or agencies similar to C-Tran to do something.
It seems reasonable because the cities of Ridgefield and the center total 4,000 people, and they have a representative. Camas and Washougal total 34,000 people, and we have one representative. So we're outvoted almost 7-1 there, more than 7-1.